Forgot to spring us clock.
All right, we are on live.
Well,
Nobody there yet, so
All
don't
right.
worry about
Okay.
that's great.
But people that are watching us on YouTube, they'll catch this part. So
it.
those
They will. That's true.
welcome. This is episode 53 raw. So this is just the recording of our episode. If you want something prettier, you'll have to listen to the edited podcast when it gets released. Otherwise, feel free to watch this and all the behind the scenes and all the other crap that happens afterwards. So
there's nothing prettier than this face, Phil. Come on.
that's true, but it doesn't change in a raw. Are you wiping yourself down now because you turned the air conditioning off?
No, I just ate.
Wow.
So.
Oh, just bellied up to the trough.
And it might be a little warm in here. You don't know.
You're drinking wine. That's
He's
why.
drinking wine.
Yeah, I am. It was in our hotel lobby. It was like Long Island wine night. So they literally were just giving out glasses for free. So it's like, why not?
Oh, you're in New York. Okay. I was like,
Oh,
those
yeah.
drinks don't go together.
Yeah, seriously.
You don't.
All right, here's the next thing. Sorry, turned off the phone and back on, deleted app and reloaded, nothing, or it keeps crashing when it tells me that it is going to be streaming. Why would it be crashing on him?
I don't know.
Is it possible he still has the app open in the background and needs to get rid of it?
What app? He just said he deleted the app and reloaded.
Oh,
So
okay.
you have a computer. Can you try?
I'm going to try something here. This is riveting live streaming, folks.
Oh yeah. You know what? How about I tell about
Tell
how
some
I
jokes,
almost died
Dave.
this weekend? I almost died this weekend.
Again?
Can you, Mark? Can you invite him? Can you send him an invite?
I can try
do I-
that.
Oh, him, Mark. Okay.
Yeah,
I can try.
Hangouts. I don't know if that's going to matter,
Yeah,
but
just a minute here.
you need to know his Gmail.
Yes, I do. Hang on here. Invite people. Okay. Add names. Okay, what's his email address?
Tell you what, I'll type it in the chat. How's that?
Yeah.
Whoa, yeah, I can't be talking about that on live TV, I think.
I suppose not.
Anyway, I almost died this weekend. I climbed a mountain. It's crazy.
Did you make a molehill out of it?
No, well, I don't know what that is, but it was literally one of the most terrifying and hard things I've ever done in my life, and I almost fell. It was bad.
That's funny. Making a mountain out of a molehill is making a bigger deal out of something than it actually is. Sorry. I apologize.
I have sent the invite to I won't say it.
And use video, and at least
So I'm gonna try some else here.
So, does anyone have any dinner recommendations for me?
see that crowd.
Oh, whoa.
Did that come across okay?
It did.
What was it?
Sounded okay? Or yeah, you couldn't tell what it was. That's the problem, I think.
It sounded like applause.
But it apparently didn't come across real good.
Yeah.
Can I talk over it? You can still hear it okay?
It had a little pause in between it. I'm not sure if that was what you heard too or not.
So if I play the game show music and I'm talking, can you still hear me just fine?
You can.
Tune it
The
down.
music's a little loud.
Yeah, it was a little loud. It's not great quality either, but you'll have to check on that when we test. This is a test episode for that.
I'm going to ask for a bigger budget, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know, man.
I got a mixer over here now.
Who's our producer? What's his name?
We have
His email.
Just go ahead and give mine out to everybody. It's fine. I get plenty of email and I delete a lot of it. We had, where is it? So when we're doing listener comments and things.
Yeah. You want to applause?
The applause kind of breaks up in the middle. I don't know why.
Yeah, I think we can record off of the stream. I'd have to, and I could from here. I could set up an output and just do a separate recording.
Right.
or at least it would get all of my stuff unfiltered.
Yep.
Through the bandwidth, which would be the sound effects. More importantly,
you were talking about budget. One of our listeners suggested a song for our opening song.
Wow.
And my comment is going to be, that's great, but I don't think we can afford the royalties.
You know what? That's a good point. I am you guys know this. I'm very skilled in the musical arts. I think, maybe I could record something. I play the recorder.
Recorder, yes.
Got some good vocals. I've got some good pipes too. Maybe I'll record something. Who knows?
Pipes and vocals.
but we can't have vocals because we talk over the song.
Well, you could have like background, like like monotone, like or something like that. I don't know.
We're the freaks.
Pumped up for the show. a little recorder music like The Hobbit and some chanting.
Yeah, you know what? My dad just got good at my dad's just learning the guitar now, so I'll see if he can record us something. So.
Well, shoot, I don't know. I haven't heard from Chad here lately.
Okay. Could this be a bust? Oh, let me try this.
It potentially could be.
So I have to mute myself.
So here's the question: would you guys want to try and just get him maybe next week? Would you be able to go? You know what? I can't do next Thursday, actually.
Oh, how convenient!
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, this is the guy who's missed probably double-digit shows.
What are you talking about, Phil? This is probably better because that way my mic won't sound like absolute garbage.
There you go. What else we got? We got a bell.
Wow.
We got the wrong answer.
Wow.
That's about it. Not much for effect. Little thunder.
So how you been, man? Chilling? How's work going?
Who are you talking to?
You.
Me? I'm good. All's good, man. I'm sad I'm not out in the plane storm chasing this year, but there's not been a lot going on.
There's been nothing. I mean, there's been
the year not to be able to do it, I guess.
I mean, Connecticut and Ohio have had as many tornadoes as no, they haven't, but I mean, it's just there's been nothing. This year has been not exciting at all.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what Chris is doing right now because there's just nothing.
I'm not seeing a whole lot coming because there's just
no
report.
No, you've got a better chance of getting activity going to Florida with all this, tropical stuff going on. So I don't
know. So what are you doing in New York?
Working, man. Working on a client out here doing some website development. So that's pretty cool.
Okay, I gotta contact Chad here. I haven't heard from him for about 6 minutes. So either that's not working or I'm gonna tell him
just reschedule or something.
Yeah, how do we did a sound check and he was able to do it that time. I don't know why it's not going through this time. And I don't know enough to know if there's any way we can use this link.
Was he using the same device?
Yeah, he was using his phone, and he had to get a Gmail account. He didn't have one, so he had to get a Gmail account. But then he was able to connect on Google Hangouts, but it was through the calendar invite.
Wow, he didn't have Gmail? Wow, interesting.
No, he did not. All right. I'm just going to say, do we need to call it? And
Maz, give us some of your famous one-liners. How about that?
Famous one-liner. Here we go.
I could tell you about
Chad. You gotta have something written to You gotta have something written
down,
man.
No, he and I have mad mutually assured distractions. He was a fraternity brother of mine, so we went to school.
Wait, really?
Graduated together.
No way.
He was next door. He's awesome.
Wait, did you guys have a meteorology fraternity?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't even think there was enough guys at our school to do that.
No, No, that was no.
You guys just both happen to love weather and be in the same fraternity.
Yeah. And after my first job and I left, he came and took that job.
No way.
At the Lincoln, Nebraska station. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was my 5th year senior, and I was working. Was supposed to have been fill-in work between over the summer, and they decided they were like, "Hey, how would you like to do full-time weekends?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah.
So they fired the chief, and everybody moved up a slot.
No way.
And our sportscaster became the head weathercaster.
Wow. Wait, really? Did he have any knowledge?
I don't think so, or maybe it was a hobby. Since then he's become a meteorologist. I think he went Cincinnati State or something. But there's Chad. I see something popped up there.
Oh, yep. I see a name.
I see a name too. Chad, you there, man?
We at least see that you've joined the chat, but we don't hear you. So if you can hear me, the one thing you might want to do is, if you're maybe on a computer, go up to the top of the screen, and when you move your mouse, you'll see a little settings icon. And on the settings icon, if you click on that, you'll get a drop down of microphone. And you might want to set your microphone to be your laptop microphone instead of default or something like that. Or your headphones, if you got headphones on that has a microphone. Might need to play with that. Mark, were you able to just jump on your phone?
Yes, I did.
Hey, Kim's on.
And it came right up and right in.
Kim,
All I did was
waited
click
for
the
you.
link out of an email message.
Guys, quiet for a sec. Hold on. We still got to figure out how to get Chad on here for a second.
We waited for Kim. Hi, Kim.
All I had to do was click the link out of an email message, and it went right into the app, and it's on my iPhone, right into the Hangouts app, and I got that same message, and I hit OK, and you saw me pop right in.
I wonder why. And he even said he tested it on 2 phones.
And that was using a different account, not the one that I'm using now, obviously using a different Gmail account.
But he should, if he's doing it, if he's logged in under his Gmail account, he should be able to do that.
Yes, correct. Let me see if he's muted. He's not muted.
Sounds like a job for Detective Phil.
Nope, now he's gone. And now he's back. And now he's gone. Oh, hey, oh my goodness. I see somebody.
Just like that.
We got up.
Nice.
He can't hear us.
I can hear you.
Oh, there we go.
Hey,
he's just
ring that bell.
You know. Wow. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Basara and I are too old for this.
Yeah.
God, I was gonna go back and get my Commodore 64, see if I could get it to work.
Wow,
that probably would have worked.
That was our first Chiron. Yeah,
probably worth a lot of money now.
That was the final answer.
So we worked. It works now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see you. You look good, Chad.
Take off my glasses so I don't look like I'm 65. You know, next Tuesday I get to use my Goodwill Senior Citizen discount for 25% off anything in the store.
Nice.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
65 years
I don't
old
believe
2
it.
days ago.
Wow.
Send us some stuff then. All right.
Yeah.
Including the readers. You can buy new readers too, right?
Oh my gosh.
Well, these are a dollar store. I'm good with those. I get 20 for $25, including tax.
Nice.
Are you on your phone then? Was it you able to get your phone to work?
No, I never could, and my wife's phone wouldn't either. As soon as I got to that says you're going to be streaming, and everybody can see what you're saying, and it'll be recorded. Hit continue to agree. Hit continue, and it crashed my phone every single time. And then it said,
that's crazy because I jumped right in with one just to try it out and see if there was something going on. And crazy.
Hey,
so what have you guys been talking about?
We just been waiting to get you on, and Kim. Yeah, Kim. We were waiting to get you. Now she's on.
The boy shut down my laptop, and so I didn't know that. So when I came down here and opened it up, it always does that whole restart, checking.
No. Are they grounded? Are they grounded?
It takes 20 minutes for it to reboot and check all the settings. And anyway, I'm
I
here.
ground them.
Let me ask
I'm
Chad
gonna ground them.
a question. Do you have enough battery power that you can put headphones in, or not?
Yeah, my phone's my computer's plugged in.
Oh, okay. Hey, do you have headphones you can plug into your computer?
Do you have them?
Or,
Why does it sound bad?
Echo, little.
because of the noise canceling, you don't always hear us if you're also talking, and I think it'll cancel it out. If you can get some earbuds, it'll make that process a little smoother.
How about like an IFB cord? Is that going to work?
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess he does it.
yeah, do that. Try that.
I actually have mine.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see.
Get that 2-bit cable.
Oh my gosh, I should have went to Micro Center and done this live from there.
Radio Shack.
Now I can't read what it's asking. Hold on. Gotta put these back on. All
Now
right.
make sure you talk into your cuff like Secret Service.
Hello.
Hear us okay?
All right. Now you guys are really loud.
Okay.
You have no idea.
That's better than nothing.
You do have no idea.
All right, so let's do this. Let's get
All
going.
right.
Time to go. Yes. I
When we go through the this is for our crew. When we go through the "What are you drinking" segment, again, it's going to be quick. We'll get through that quick. Mute your phones if you need to mute your mic for any reason. And Chad, you too. If there's any, if you got a cough or the dog starts barking in the back, if you go to the top of your screen, if you move your mouse up there, there's a mute microphone option.
Okay, got it.
Just remember to unmute yourself when you're ready to talk again. Can you adjust your camera, Chad, so your head is closer to the top of your screen?
I would have to lower my hair.
Okay. Try that too. That might work. You're about to the senior discounts. That's good.
At least you have here.
All
That works?
my team, keep your mic close to you if you can. And if any reason you get knocked off, just reconnect to that link. And Chad, if you get knocked off, we'll just wait another 30 minutes till you can get back.
Nice.
All right. So
I'll put my floppy disk in.
I'll start. I'll open things up. I got a couple news items to bring up, and then we'll introduce the team. What are you drinking? And then I'll turn it over to Maz for the introduction. Maz, you got the little bio there?
I do.
Good. You can start off with the questions, and then we will jump to the lightning round, and then we'll take a break. A little break there before we get into the second section. And hey, Chad, did you have a chance to print out those mean tweets?
I looked at them, yeah, but they're not here. That's good.
Okay.
You just read them to me. I'll be good.
Oh no, you're supposed to read them.
Oh, I'm supposed to read them. Oh, now I have a phone. I probably can do that.
Oh, okay. You don't need to do it now. That's in the second segment. We'll get to it in second half.
Okay. All right. Yep.
Yeah. See, everything turned out for the best.
Unbelievable.
Works out. All right. Let's do this. MJ, go ahead and count me in. We'll get started.
All right. Time to go. In 3, 2, 1.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the most entertaining weather podcast on your listening and viewing device. This is the Stormfront Freaks podcast. If you are a first-time listener, thanks for stopping by. Always go to our website, stormfrontfreaks.com. You can check out the library of previous shows and famous guests from the weather industry that we've had on. This tonight is episode 53. We're joined by CNN meteorologist and severe storm expert Chad Myers is with us tonight. Welcome, Chad.
Good evening, guys and ladies.
We're going to be playing, of course, lightning round. We're going to talk about on-location storm reporting. We're also going to add a new mean tweets segment, and I think Chad's going to be a great one to start us off with that. And, stick around for the best WX resources and weather fools of the season. But before we get to Chad, I want to share a couple updates with you. This is the last call. Our intro song, if you're listening to the podcast, you would have just heard that. We need an update. So we're putting a call out to all of our musically talented listeners to help create a new intro song. Basically, we need about a 60-second stereo upbeat song or riff. Try to avoid the vocals just because we talk over that a little bit. But you can email your creation to phil@stormfrontfreaks.com by May 28th. So May 28th is that deadline. We've already got a couple we're going to look at and consider, but we'll share those submissions. We're going to pick one of them for our new theme song, and we'll share credit to you on every single episode for that. Second thing I want to talk about is check out the latest weather-themed fashions and accessories at helicitydesigns.com. And while you're there, check out the exclusive line of Stormfront Freaks podcast shirts, drinking containers, yes. And there's also a new cap that's on there as well. There's more to come, but here's the key. You can get a 5% discount on your entire order when you use the code PODCAST at checkout. So that's PODCAST, PODCAST. And coming soon is a new hurricane collection, Chad. You might be interested in that. Find it all at helicitydesigns.com.
Awesome.
So it's always, what's that?
That's awesome.
Okay, good. All right. You'll like it. Check it out.
It's Chad approved.
It is. It's always happy hour. So step up to the Stormfront Freaks bar. We're going to start with introducing MJ. What are you drinking tonight?
Hey, tonight, well, it's time to start watching my figure because nobody else does. So I am drinking Diet Mountain Dew tonight.
Okay.
Ooh.
Kind of say.
It's very good for you. I hear Diet
harsh.
juice is like prune juice.
Yes, exactly.
I haven't heard that. Brady, what are you drinking?
I'm in New York City for business, and I'm just here with a glass of free wine. So, I'm all about that.
Free.
the key.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Put it on the company bill. Maz, what are you drinking tonight?
All right, so we had a baby shower last weekend, so everything is gone in the house. I did find some whiskey. No, not my baby. No, my daughter's gonna have a baby, so yeah, in like a week.
Oh, that's
Congratulations, Beth.
wonderful.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So if I
Grandpa.
mute myself and you don't see me, she's in labor. Just saying. Okay, so
Okay.
Fair enough.
So I'm having some whiskey and Coke tonight. So Diet
Nice.
Coke because I'm watching.
Grandpa. That's a good drink. Good grandpa drink. Kim, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, believe it or not, I am not drinking an IPA.
Whoa.
I am
What?
starting a low carb diet.
No way.
So the low carb diet says you can drink as much vodka as you want. So this is vodka with club soda, not tonic, because tonic is high in calories.
Uh-huh.
Club soda, I just smashed up some raspberries and added it in there. So
All right.
that's what I'm drinking tonight.
Flavor besides some.
Mhm.
Kim,
Mhm.
you don't need a diet. Get out of here. Are you
Well,
kidding me?
Yeah, you're sweet.
You're
All right.
great.
Enough of our drinking. Let's get to our famed guest tonight.
Is that my turn?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Oh,
been a while since you've been on TV.
Well, I'm drinking whiskey, so you're gonna have to give me some extra time. Anyway, hey, so Chad Myers, super stud, is a meteorologist and severe weather expert for CNN. Myers joined the network in 1999. That goes back a while.
Okay.
He made his mark at broadcasting meteorology, forecasting the local weather in Detroit, Columbus, Ohio, and I remember the
Go
stories from there too, Oklahoma City, Richmond, Virginia, I remember stories from there too, Chad, and Lincoln, Nebraska, before joining CNN. Chad is a University of Nebraska graduate. Go Huskers.
Huskers.
That's right. And earned his Bachelor's of Science degree in meteorology in 1987. What a great year that was, Chad. We
And
both
so
graduated.
did you.
I know. We were like, Chad and I are fraternity brothers. So we've known each other for 30 years, something like that.
Oh yeah. I
my
took
goodness.
his first job away from him. He moved to
Yeah.
Omaha. I
Yeah.
filled in for him, and they gave me the job. And then Mark went on for bigger or better things.
That's right. That's right. What a great time. That was a lot of fun too. And one of the first things I want to say to everybody is, Chad really truly is a great guy. I mean, and when I remember when Chad may not remember this, but when my student loan was late getting in, and the university is like, hey, we want our money. There's like the mafia, hey, give me your money. And
One guy.
he's like, how much do you need? And I'm like, oh, I need this much. He's like, come on, we'll go down to the cash box. I am like, dude, I love you, man. You're awesome. So he didn't think anything of it. He's like, consider a loan, 20% interest. No
Did
big
he ever pay me back?
I'm pretty sure I did, buddy. In beer, but
oh
anyway.
my gosh.
So he's right. Well, after my first job in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I left, he took that job over and he became famous. So how does that happen, Chad?
You moved to Rhode Island.
Well, yeah,
Did
No,
you
wait a
not?
minute. Who was in Omaha? Who was in Omaha?
that was me. I went from
You.
Lincoln to Omaha and then Omaha to Rhode Island, and actually
Okay.
worked with the roommate of oh my gosh, Mr. Weather Channel. Come on, Mark.
Cantori.
Yeah.
Jim Cantori. Thank you. I had just had a blank
Yeah,
from the
a
whiskey. Yeah, so they were roommates, and I
Whiskey
worked
man.
with his roommates. So I mean, it's just a small world. But speaking of small, Chad, so Lincoln, Nebraska to CNN, not in one jump, obviously. So how
Right.
different are things from there to there?
When you and I worked in Lincoln, we would get 3.5 minutes for weather, right? Oh, it was one of the first things on the news. They did weather before they did breaking news because weather was so important to farmers. Now I get a tight 45 seconds. That's what you get.
Oh
And
my
not every
gosh.
day, right?
No, not every day. Only really when I'm sponsored or someone doesn't tweet something in the morning, you know. Mhm.
So if
That
you're
guy.
not sponsored, is it just like, and Chad's on for it? Here's Chad. Oh, thanks, Chad. And that was it? Or
I do Airport Network. I do CNNI International. We make a lot of money on CNNI, honestly. They just sell commercials all over the world. So I'm on there nearly every day. And we've been busy, with the volcano because unlike just weather people doing weather, we have to do all the science work. And you know that. Earthquakes, volcanoes, meteors, missing airplanes. Oh my God, you're the science guy. You do everything if it comes to science, like
So
a
how do you do that?
meteorologist.
Like, how do you keep up with all that information? Because that is a lot of information that you have to be an expert on.
I use Alta Vista and AOL. Those search engines are really good. Just kidding. It's
I was like, wow, nice.
Nice.
Whatever it takes.
there are
Blast from the past.
Careful, buddy. There are.
Google makes me an expert in 15 minutes. And the joke is in the weather office, I'm an expert at being an expert.
Smart.
Yeah.
I could have shut that well off in the Gulf of Mexico in about 20 minutes, but they didn't ask me.
So why CNN? I mean, you could have gone anywhere, once you've been to Detroit like that. So why CNN?
It's just a perfect job for me. It's a perfect fit. I told them they're going to drag me out of that place. I'm never leaving on my own. They treat me nice. They pay me handsomely. I live here. I live in the building that Mike Bettis was in 4 years ago, that Jennifer Gray is also in. She's on the 11th floor. I'm on the 10th floor. My in-laws are on the 6th floor. And before my dad passed away, he lived on the 5th floor of the 17-story high rise.
So
What a beautiful view. Oh my gosh, what a view.
how many stories do you own, Chad?
Just one.
Okay.
Where are you from originally?
I was born in Buffalo, but grew up in Nebraska. Yes, I really claim Nebraska as home just because I went there. I was actually Harry Husker because I was too small to play football. So I just got to play the little guy that ran around the field.
Oh, wow.
I did not
That's a
remember
little
that.
piece of trivia.
Do you remember, Mark?
Wow.
Remember that Harry Husker
Yeah.
in the basement of Lambda Chi?
That was you?
Yeah, that was me. We chained that thing to the water heater, to the gas pipe in the water heater because people wanted to steal that guy.
Oh, yeah.
So we chained it to the gas line thinking, well, nobody's going to break the gas line because they'll blow themselves up. So that's where we secured Harry Husker.
So
Oh,
what's
wow.
some of the craziest things that's happened since you've been in CNN that you can talk about? Right.
Well, other than Katrina, me yelling to Carol Costello, let me talk.
Ooh, I
because-
remember that.
that was a good one. I had to go to the principal's office.
They must really like you, Chad, to keep you after that.
On that note, let me play you a little segment from John Oliver's And Now This.
For this hit. So I'm standing out here in a suit and this little coat. Got a little strep throat, a little cold, maybe some influenza. I'm not even sure what's going on.
Chad Myers, we've even called him in here. This is so big. Hi,
That's
Chad.
right. You never call me in when there's actually good weather. You always bring me in when there's something bad to talk about.
I'm afraid Punch's Honey Phil may have been right for once.
Hey, Chad. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. I grabbed the short drumstick and here I am.
To see both of you, especially you. It's good to see you, Don.
Yeah. Sent me to New York and then they worked me to death.
Yeah.
When I was 6, I did get cold in my stocking.
The Smithsonian says it looks like a cross between a house cat and a teddy bear.
My wife already wants one.
Oh, no. Would you go with your wife?
With a marriage counselor. They go to Florida and they like it. My parents were down there for quite some time. I was in Detroit and they would laugh at me all the time.
I would too.
Let's bring in Chad Myers now. The big thing is, oh, look at you, you're crying. Don't
No,
be sad,
I'm not
Chad.
crying. This is a very strong storm.
All right, Chad Myers, thanks. Let's check in with Susan Hendricks, 360 Bulletin.
Could you
Susan?
wait till I'm done?
If it ends up over land, it becomes a tornado.
You've been paying attention.
All right. So,
Wow.
Good
Wow.
stuff, right?
yeah, you had a few segments over the years.
So now we know where Maz gets the one-liners from. That is the source right there.
That's right. I'm trying to walk in his footsteps.
The fraternity.
Oh.
So
I think they called that John Oliver second. Chad hates his job.
it was.
Something like that.
Exactly.
It was
I think
perfect.
I missed the very beginning of that, but it was all good stuff. If I played the whole segment, we'd probably be here all night listening to those. But Chad, tell me what was the attraction to CNN? So what was the first job at CNN that they offered you? What was that attraction?
Oh my gosh. If I could even tell you, they offered me to do weekend nights, so 2 days a week, fill in 3 days a week if anyone was off, and you can be on your boat as long as you're less than 30 minutes away from CNN on call. So
What?
I had a call. I had a boat on Lake Erie with a phone that, one of those bag phones, so that they could call me. And if they called me, I'd get off the boat, park the boat, dock it, get in the car, and drive to work. That's all I had to do 5 days a week if I wasn't filling in for somebody else. So we had Flip Spiceland, we had Karen McGinnis.
Right.
Yeah, this is old school, right? We had Orland Sidney. Dave Hennon was there.
And he's still there, right?
And he's still there. He's my manager now. Yeah, he's working great.
Wow.
So the draw is, look, at CNN, we're not wrong, because I'm going to tell you there's going to be 6 inches of snow in Michigan somewhere.
That moved like local regional station where you only had to forecast regionally to now having to be a part of a national newscast and forecast nationally. What was the biggest challenge there?
I think geography was probably the biggest challenge. Really, I've traveled a lot. I've been very blessed to have a wife that gets in the car with me and we see the world through a windshield. On our first date to Vegas, we were just dating. I took her to the north rim of the Grand Canyon and back in one day. And at that point in time, she spent 9 hours in the car with me. We didn't argue. I knew I could marry her. So knowing all the little nuances of where the Bitterroot Mountains are, and where the valley is and where the benches are to the east of Salt Lake City. That was all a learning curve for me, because you don't learn about that in Nebraska. I worked in DC for the National Weather Service before I moved into TV with an internship there. And so that's got my feet on the ground for forecasting. So I was already a decent forecaster by the time I got to Columbus and Detroit. And people don't understand, when you see a guy on TV or a woman on TV for the first time in a new city, you have to give them a little bit of a break, because they don't know the nuances of the city. They don't know that, I didn't even know that Birmingham was higher than we are. So when a storm comes out of Alabama, it's going down toward the Chattahoochee, and it's going in a bigger atmosphere, and it's going to die. It's very, very rarely do we have big storms come out of Alabama and roll through Georgia. Now, they can develop in Georgia or with a cold front, certainly, but it's that downhill, up here, upslope snow in Denver is amazing. And those are just some of the things you have to learn. All the big cities, not just the one you're living in.
What about the names? Because you get towns that you're like, that's not the way it's supposed to be pronounced. You had to hit that like all the time.
You know what I do? I call the Chamber of Commerce and listen to their telephone. I call the Chamber of Commerce and it'll say, "Oh, welcome to the Chamber of Commerce of whatever town," and that's the right way to say it.
Yeah,
that's pretty smart.
Good.
And even if they're closed, the answering machine still answers.
So Chad, now that you're on a national scale, do you ever miss kind of getting into some of those nitty gritty, the nuances where you actually get a forecast for local and you're not, doing the entire United States?
Sure, of course. And what I miss the most is when a warm front is south of your city and the model says it's going to be raining and 40. And there's no way with an east wind at 17 miles per hour that it's going to be raining and 40. That you have that low layer there, 100 feet thick. It's going to be a sleet or a snowstorm, or at least an ice storm. And, I could nail that, because I knew when I worked with the Weather Service, I knew what that model did wrong. I knew where the flaws were in that model. So yeah, I miss winter's forecast. If anything I miss in Detroit, I miss Lake Erie with my boat, and I also miss winter storm forecasting. When we know, I got made fun of one day that all the forecasters were saying rain 38. And I went on 6 o'clock in the morning. I said, no way, it's an ice storm. Oh, the phone calls came in. You're an alarmist. By the time the day was over, 928,000 people were without power because of that ice storm.
Wow.
Wait a minute, you've been on TV 30 years and You've only been made fun of one time. Come
Just
on. Come on.
By that one guy.
What's the biggest bust in a forecast you've ever had?
Ooh, good question.
I had a New Orleans Saints paper bag over my head one morning when I said there was going to be 6 inches of snow, and it didn't happen. It was the same station in Detroit. It never happened at all. We got no snow. They canceled school ahead of the snow. Never happened. Now, we all got it wrong, but for me, that was a really big bust.
What about tornado chasing? Did you do much of that in Nebraska?
Not so much in Nebraska, no, because it wasn't popular in 86, 87. We didn't have the Dow, driving around, the Doppler on wheels driving around. That really wasn't much of a thing. But I did get the El Reno tornado a couple of years ago, and that was a very harrowing experience. We were on Radio Road, not that far from Tim Samaras, in fact. We were with some guys from the SPC. They were chasing with us, Severe Storms Prediction Center, and we went east. And because we thought that the storm, originally the tornado was moving toward the southeast, so we were going to go east and then south. When we went east and went south, that tornado turned left and went right behind the road that we were just on. And to this day, that photographer will never go on another storm chase. That's the same day that Mike Bettis rolled the car over. That same storm. He was on I-40.
Oh, wow.
I was about 4 miles from him. We were all there. We knew that was the storm of the day. We were all there, and that was the scariest minute ever. I don't ever need to do that again. I've seen my tornadoes. I win.
Wow. Yeah.
Bucket list is over.
Were you part of the CNN broadcast? Was that work related?
It was. We were all with crews.
Okay.
We were live. We had this live stream. This has changed the world for television. A lot like getting your phone, taking a picture and sending it in, and it shows up on TV. It's called a live view, and it uses cell towers to put you on television while you're driving down the road. And so we don't need this big satellite dish on top of our truck anymore. In fact, CNN sold all of their satellite dishes. They said all their trucks. They sold them all to a company that we rent them back, but we truly don't need $2 million trucks anymore. We have this live view. It sits in the back. It makes a phone call, and your signal goes. It's so fast. 4G is so good now that we don't need satellite trucks anymore. And we were live when that tornado was on the ground for hours and hours.
You guys,
I think Pierce Morgan was just, he was amazed at the tornado. He wouldn't go to any other news because it was such an amazing storm.
You guys still send people out?
Oh yes, we do.
You do. Okay.
Yeah, especially to hurricanes. And to me, those people are my children. When I send someone out, I want them to come back. People say, why do you go out there and stand out there in the rain and the hurricane? Because just to be there, you're putting yourself in danger. Yes, we are. But we have done a site survey of every single city that we're ever in. We know where the strong buildings are. We know where the place to fall back is. We know where to get our trucks or whatever out of the wind. And so it is dangerous, yes, but we have done our due diligence to make it not as dangerous as maybe it seems on TV, because I want those guys to come home.
Now, do you get a staff as well then?
Like a stick?
No, a staff of people. Sorry, not like Moses.
Come on, Maz.
That's the only staff I have is a walking stick.
Well, you were like, we have our people go out and check things out. I'm like, are they like, hey, I need you to go check this out. I need you to go over there. I need you to get coffee. I mean, what's it like for you? No.
I do have a producer in the morning. A producer does come in and make graphics for me, and I trust her with my entire show. I walk in, the show's ready to go. I push the button, and we're on TV. So that is a huge luxury compared to being on local news without a producer, making your own graphics, scrambling all morning long. I can get to work 35 minutes before I hit the air and be completely fine. You can't do that in local news. In local news, you're there 2 hours ahead of time, 3 sometimes.
Okay, so I got to ask you this because I haven't had these dreams or nightmares in a while because I've been off the air for a while. But so now that you can get there 35 minutes before, what's the nightmare that you have dealing with weather when you're actually sleeping?
That I'm on the shift, I'm on the air, and a hurricane or earthquake or something happens, and they can't get a hold of me. They know I'm in the building, or even if I was on call, they can't get a hold of me, and I see my phone ringing and I can't answer it, and it's like, why? What do you want? What do you want? And that's kind of the recurring nightmare that I have. That I miss a hit.
We must all have those. I had one. I always had one where I couldn't get to the studio. It's like I kept trying to get there, and something always stopped me from getting there.
What kind of pressure they put you guys under,
A
man? That's
lot.
crazy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it
Well,
used
they're
to be.
counting the clock down, so you got to be
It
there.
used to be you didn't have your suit. You're like, I don't know where my suit is. And they're like, we can't put you on the air like that. And then your brain figures out you could do that. And then it was like, I don't have my graphics made. Now I'm like, I just need to call Chad and get his producer.
Well, what about hurricanes, Chad? What was most memorable for you that you went out on?
I think 2004, before my son was born, I went on Charlie, Francis, Gene, and those were the big three in Florida. And people think it's exciting to go out there, and in the first minute when you get on the airplane, you have a little anxiety, and then the storm's coming, and you don't know if it's going to turn left. Like I was in Tampa, this Charlie hit Punta Gorda, and so we drove down there as fast as we could in the wind. So that was a little bit of a miss, but we got there in time. And then, so it's exciting when you see it and you're live and you're broadcasting, but then all of a sudden you see 83 and 85-year-old people that have just lost their mobile home that was on a canal in a beautiful place in Punta Gorda. And you think, what are they going to do now? It is so sad. Are they going to go get a job as a greeter in Walmart? They've just lost everything. How do you restart when you're 85 years old or 80 or whatever years old? That was the saddest part about Charlie, is seeing that retirement area really get hit so hard.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking. Were you ever in one when it made landfall?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Anderson Cooper and I were always there together. And it's funny when you go to Melbourne or whatever, because we were with Gene and Francis, and you see a sign that says, Jim Cantori, go home. Because if you're where Jim is and you've got ground zero and people they don't want to see you coming. They don't want to see us there.
Sure. Wow.
So you've seen pretty much everything. Is there anything left on your bucket list weather-wise that you're like, you know what, before I retire someday, I'd like to see this or experience it or something like that?
I would like to find Forrest Fenn's gold chest. You know what that is?
No idea.
None of you do? All right. There's an eccentric old man still alive in New Mexico, hit a box of gold somewhere in the Rocky Mountains worth $2 million. So last year, my son and I went to Yellowstone thinking it could be there. So we walked all over Yellowstone, and all this man did was put this box out there to get people into the wild, wild west, to get them into the wilderness, to get them experience things with their kids. And so I would like my son and I to go to New Mexico. We're going to go to Telluride this summer, and we're going to go fly fishing. And I would love us just to walk right up to that gold box and take it home and finally retire.
Oh, yeah.
Well, otherwise, no, I've seen it all. I don't need to see anything else. I'm old. I get the senior citizen discount at Goodwill.
When did you fly fish? I don't remember you fly fishing.
I'm at the Chattahoochee now, and the rivers in Georgia are amazing. So I guess I picked it up maybe 10 years ago.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Easy, hard? Was it easy?
Hard. It's hard to catch fish. It's not so hard to throw. It's easy to get a knot in your line.
Yes.
Describe easy, hard,
All right, Chad, I got to know, is there anything about Maz we don't know? Is there anything you want to tell us?
I have a ridiculous memory that picks up really small things. Maz was living in Rhode Island, and he didn't like the color of the tile in his bathroom. And he bought this epoxy paint, and he painted over his tile because he was too lazy to take the tile off and put new tile on.
Wow.
Well, you were going to come over and help.
Wow.
No show.
Wow.
No show. Am I lying, Maz? Am I lying?
What's that, honey? Gotta go.
How did that work out for you, Maz? Was that everything you ever hoped for?
They finally sold the house.
Really?
Yeah. Thanks. Wow.
Hey, Chad, how can listeners find you on social media?
I am at Chad Meyer CNN on Twitter. I don't do much on Facebook. I just got my first iPhone. I got rid of my flip phone. It finally broke. So Twitter is my social media feed because I watch it and monitor it all the time, because that's where really breaking news is broken. That's where people are there showing breaking news. And if I'm on the phone to the newsroom saying, hey, you can't believe this, I just saw this, it's breaking in Akron, Canton, whatever. So that's where I'm always there.
Got it.
Because in between weather hits, there really isn't a lot to do. You're on the air for 3-4 minutes a day. You've got 7 hours and 57 minutes of other stuff you can do.
Okay, to all the people that did the morning show, though, you're on like 36 times. So they're going, true. Oh, I hate you, Chad.
No, and then you do the updates on Good Morning America, and you're live and 30 seconds here, 30 seconds there. You're right. The morning show is brutal with weather on the 8th or whatever you're doing, and just 1 or 2 minutes. The funny part is, we were talking about this before we got on the air here, is that back in local TV, you'd get 3 or 4 minutes for weather. You really would. And now it's short. It's go as fast as you can. It's, and I don't think there's any there's no local guy or woman that really ever gets enough time. They always need more time. And now I wouldn't know what to do with 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I could do the whole world in 3 minutes.
The first time on 10/11, they gave me 5 minutes and 30 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, that is way too much time when you're on the first time on air. You're like, I'm sweating.
Wow.
We
used to have to cover 10 minutes sometimes.
Wow.
At
the first time I was on the air was Mark's old station, KOL 1011 Strong. I hyperventilated on the air so badly, I didn't even know if my feet were on the ground or not. I had so much oxygen in my system. I floated back to the desk.
Oh my God. Wow.
The chief meteorologist is still there too.
Ken Shimmick.
Ken, yeah, he was a sportscaster first, went weathercaster, got his degree. He's still there.
Yep, he is.
Well, hey, that's interesting and all, but it is time for lightning round.
Fine.
I digress.
This is our game show of brilliant questions for our guests. We always invite everybody to play along. And tonight we're playing, I just made this up, but we are playing real or homemade fishing lure edition. So, Chad, we know you fish.
I do.
Here's how we're playing the game. I'm going to give you the name.
Okay.
Of a lure, and this could be either a real lure that's been produced, or it's a lure but it's homemade. Someone made it. Okay.
Fair enough.
Well, I'll explain them to you a little bit, and then you just get to tell me either it's real or it's homemade.
No pulling up Google.
I'm not pulling up Google. I'm pulling up my fish that I just caught in Texas.
All right. So here's the first one. This is called the musky duckling. It's a topwater bait. It has 2 steel paddles on the side that stir up water as you reel it in because it looks just like a baby duck. Is this a real lure that's produced, or is it a homemade one? What do you think?
I will go with, it's not called musky duckling. It's probably called bass duckling because muskies don't hit topwaters. Bass do.
So you're saying it's not real?
Not real.
That would be incorrect. It is real. It's made by Gopher Bait Company.
Yeah, come on, Chad. Everyone knows that.
I even do that.
Oh, missed it. All right, next.
All right, next one. It's called Storm Kickin' Goby. Right? You're a meteorologist. This bait could be used during the spring spawn, as gobies are notorious for invading bass beds. Is this a real lure or a homemade one?
Is goby even a freshwater fish? Storm is a real company, so I'll go with real.
You would be correct. It is
correct.
Good job. By Storm. All right.
Nice.
One. It's called the Rat X. This underwater lure looks just like a black rat, and it will fool the most discerning bass. Real or homemade?
Real.
It is real, made by Mega Bass.
Do you get many rats?
Do you know where I work?
Wow.
I know where you used to work.
All right, here's the next one. It's called the chipmunk lure. This bait mimics a small swimming chipmunk. It's used for many larger freshwater fish. Homemade or real?
Homemade.
That is a homemade one. It's
Wow.
I'm not aware of a real chipmunk lure.
No.
But someone made one. All right, next one. It's called Bite Light Lure. This bait has a battery and a red flashing light to imitate bleeding fish. Real or homemade?
Real.
That is real.
Nice call.
Made that one. All right, last one. It's called the Original Trolling Lure. Original Trolling Troll Lure. This bait is literally a little troll doll with long flaring orange hair, treble hooks, and a diving fin. The bright orange hair will attract any stubborn fish to take a bite. Homemade or real?
Homemade.
That is correct.
Wow.
Wow.
Originally used to get prom dates.
Right. No, it's really a troll. You know those troll dolls with the big
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the big bellies.
Someone did make one with treble lure. I think there was some comment about if you're not catching any fish, it's kind of the last resort because you still won't catch any.
Right.
I don't know. But anyway, great job on that, Chad. Well done. We're going to go ahead and take our first break. If you're listening to the audio podcast, you'll get to hear the Titan U Minute with Chris Sanner. But stay right here. We'll be back with Chad Myers of CNN and the Freaks to talk about the challenges of on-location storm reporting and hear Chad read some mean tweets. All right. First break.
All right.
Great break time.
Well done.
That was good, you guys. Nice.
All right, Chad, one quick favor. If you can give us a sound bite, say this is Chad Myers of CNN. You're listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Have to write that down.
I don't know, dude.
Probably.
Usually, we've made blooper reels off of people trying to.
Oh, we thrive on it. We need it, honestly. We need it for more clips.
All right, say it again.
All right, so write this down. This is
I'm Chad Myers with CNN, and you're listening to the podcast with the Storm Freaks Front. Right?
That's okay.
That'll make the blooper reel.
Get the blooper.
Front Freak podcast. Front Freak
You
podcast.
broke up. Say it again.
Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Stormfront Freaks
To the
podcast.
Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Jeez. You know, I don't read prompter. You know, weather guys don't do prompter.
It's all ad lib, baby.
I'm Chad Myers with CNN, and you're watching the podcast with the Storm Freaks Front.
Okay, good. Take two or three. Sorry.
Storm Freaks Front podcast.
Storm
Front.
It's a storm front coming in.
Storm Front.
And we're storm front. We're freaks of the storm.
All right.
Storm Freaks podcast, and you're listening. Some people do watch us. Most people listen though. So
All right, very good. All right.
No one watches.
I'm Chad Myers with CNN. You're listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Booyah!
Bam!
Yeah.
Thank you.
Overused.
Still, Gary England, he takes the cake, I think.
He does.
Yeah, I think so.
Slap it up, slip it, rub it down, bubby-o. I was like, what the heck?
Over. You're listening to
He was
All right,
fun.
so when we come back out of break, we're gonna we'll have a quick little discussion about on location now. And Chad, you were talking about this a little bit already, but being on location at storms, the challenges, whether mostly winter storms and tropical storms, but what are those challenges? And are we sending the right message? You know, telling people, hey, you need to evacuate, get indoors. But here we are, right near the eye of the storm.
Right.
Yeah.
Kim, did you ever do much on location stuff?
No, just one time. And that was enough.
It's because they wanted to keep her.
That's right. That's right.
So we can just talk a little bit about that, and then we will go to mean tweets. And so, Chad, here's what I'll have you do. If you can at least pull up the email on your phone and have it ready. I'll introduce. We've never done this before, so I really don't know how this is going to go. But I will just introduce it, and then all you have to do is just go down. I think there's maybe 6 or 7 of them. Just you don't have to read who it's from. I did list who it's from and the date on there. You don't have to say that. Just read the tweet part of it, and then you can react as you want. But I'll introduce that, and you can go through that. Okay.
Okay.
And then we'll take the final break, and we'll let you go at that point. So I appreciate you sticking around.
Yeah, deal. We're good.
All right. Any questions? Anybody ready to roll?
Let's rock and roll.
All right. So coming back, you want to come in?
Yep. You're on in 3, 2, 1.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. It seems like it's becoming more popular for on-camera meteorologists to report live from the storm. Obviously, we see that a lot during winter and tropical storms, especially as they have better opportunities to be able to forecast the more intense locations at that point. Obviously, it's a lot harder to see that with tornadoes, things like that. Just a little harder to identify where that storm is going to be. But what I want to talk a little bit about with having Chad from CNN here, as well as Kim and Maz as well. What are the challenges that come with doing those on location reports? And also, are we really sending the right message to viewers being on site? And Chad, I'm going to ask you that first. We can get into the challenges a little bit, but I do want to talk about, are we sending the right message where here we are reporting live from the eye of Hurricane Harvey, and everybody should be evacuated right now. You shouldn't be here anymore. And here you are right standing in the middle of the streets. What kind of message are we sending?
Well, there has been a number of times where I have told reporters, get out of there, especially Hurricane Rita was coming up toward Houston. And we had somebody right on the shore. And I went, dude, how far are you above sea level? He goes, well, the ocean's right there. I said, you've got to get out now. The wind's going to pick up. You're not going to be able to get over that bridge. You need to leave now. You're going to get stuck. So yes, we're there as long as we can be, but we really want our crews to be safe. Now, reporting for snowstorms that's really no issue, right? Other than, you might get stuck in the snow, but we have big trucks, we can get out. It's the severe weather that we send crews to, the hurricanes, that concerns me the most. And we have never had anyone hurt, never had anyone injured, except for Rob Marciano actually was injured one time because the photographer forgot to put the UV filter on the light and they burned his cornea. That was the only true injury that we've ever seen, and that was because of just human error, not because we put somebody in the wrong place. So yes, it's a message. People watch, and that's why we do it. We don't want people to go out there do it themselves. Let's go do it. We have done these site surveys to know where the strong places are in all the buildings or in any city. We spent an entire year surveying all of the cities up and down the East Coast and the Gulf Coast to find a strong building, to find a place to put our crews when it really does hit the fan. And so, yes, they are in danger. Yes, it is television. And I don't know what message it sends other than please don't go out, because that's why we told you not to go out. This is what it's like. It would be great, and we do this sometimes, to just leave a camera there and let it run, right? And the crews can go home, go 10 miles inland, just let the water blow, let the camera get knocked down. GoPros are indestructible sometimes. Just let that run. I'd like to see us do that more.
Well, and that had Mark Sudduth on the show before as well. And
yeah.
He puts those kinds of things out that you can use that kind of video. And obviously you've been safe in that. Let's not kid around that TV, it's all about ratings. And I think it's also a big part of those decision-making processes. But you said a little bit that you're not sure of the message that's being sent. But again, what do you think the message should be to the public? What do you think the message is? Besides, if you put aside the TV ratings, what are you hoping the general public is getting when you're in the middle of a storm reporting in the storm?
I'd rather have one camera and one crew, one reporter showing what it's like, rather than all the people out of their homes trying to experience it. They can experience it from their own house. It's like, I'm never going to go to Times Square to watch the ball come down, but I could watch it at home. And so it's a loose analogy there. But if people would stay home and we can save anybody from getting hurt, then we're the professional, right? Even though, what does that really mean? So it's what we do. It's what we show on television, and people watch it.
Does CNN have any kind of plans in the future to use VR so that people could literally experience more of the weather? I mean, that would be cutting edge.
It would be.
Yeah,
it really is. I mean, you see some of the graphics we have on TV now, where the graphics are in front of us. You see that it's the same company that builds them. Weather Channel has them. And Jim Cantori's there, right in front of it, right in the middle of a tornado or updraft or hail. Those are great graphics, and we have much better explainers than we could before. I just wish there was more just true webcams that are on the beach, on the shore, that we could just not need a reporter there because this camera is going to run for a while. But it just seems like even Surfline and some, they're just so few and far between. I just wish they were like every mile. But that's asking a lot.
I don't think that will deter people though, Chad, from going out there, just because of the ratings and just great video they can get. Do you guys have criteria for when you will leave the area, to move inland? Like if it gets upgraded to a Cat 3, will you move your location, or do you have anything written down for criteria? You just kind of wing it?
We have an entire meeting every morning and afternoon when these crews are out. And we had crews down in Key West, and we had them in Cudjoe Key when Irma was coming up through the Keys. And when it was on the Cuban Keys, 24 hours out, we said, you guys got to go. You cannot stay there. You have to go up the Keys. So we had one crew that stopped at Homestead. The other crew stopped just north of Key Largo, right before you get to the stretch, at a hotel up there that was nice and strong, and we knew he'd be okay. That was Mike Weir. The next day, Mike Weir drove down as far as he could. That was only about 15 miles and reported live from there. So yes, it is. When we see it's time to get out, it's time to go. And we're mobile enough to do that. We're not married to any location. We kind of set up like a goal post where we'll put a crew every 30 miles, and then we'll move that one crew and leapfrog them over another one to get them out of the way. So there isn't a Cat 3, Cat 4, because every storm is different, right? A Category 1 with storm surge, I don't want my guy in Matagorda Bay. You know, I want, he needs to be out of there, because even though it's a Category 1, your storm surge could be 5-6 feet in the back bays. Let's get him out of there. It's too low. So yeah, it's not a category. It's storm by storm.
Got it. Good point. Okay.
So you're on vacation someplace, you're on, and obviously you're not working, but are you working? So if something pops up, or you're like, I got it covered, you know, throw me my iPhone and I'll do something for you. Does that work?
Absolutely. Yeah. I take my CNN badge with me on every vacation, because it doesn't matter if I'm in Vegas or Central Texas. I have an IFB in my car, and I have, which is an interruptible feedback device. It's just like this, except it only goes one way. There's not a microphone on it. And I'm ready to go anytime. And every single crew, I will say, is like that with CNN. In fact, Dr. Gupta was in the Vatican, and something happened where someone got sick. Maybe it was one of the presidents was in the hospital, whatever. In less than 2 hours, he was in a studio on television from the Vatican.
That CNN badge gets you in all the clubs, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Run of the line, baby.
So who decides who goes where, Chad? Are you the Jim Cantori of CNN, where you get to go where the worst is happening?
I try not to, because I have a 13-year-old son now that means more to me than life itself. And so really the last storm that I truly went to that I believe was going to be a dangerous storm was Francis, Gene, Francis to J. And after that, he was born in November, and I don't go on ground anymore. And it's easier for me too. Think about this, Kim, and you can relate to this. You can do a lot better service to the people at home by being in the studio and telling them what's going to happen than standing out there in the field with a phone that probably doesn't work because there's no service, with a TV that you can't see. You're so blind out there in the field, where when I'm a quarterback back home, and I can do all the forecasting and let reporters report. Because why am I a reporter standing on the beach when I should be back there looking at the model, knowing is it going to go to a Cat 3? Is it going to go to a Cat 4? When you're out there and you can't even see a radar, you just feel stupid.
Yeah.
So are you going to be grooming your son to follow in your footsteps, or are you like, oh, I don't want you to do this, or what?
How much time do we have?
As much as you need.
My son has already got 2 patents that he's applied for. He's 13 years old. So December 30th, he and I the next day are going to fly to Venice, Florida. We're going to go fishing for 5 days. But he is in the bathroom of this high-rise condo that I live in, using a Dremel tool to make the battery door bigger so that he could put a LiPo battery in his Nerf gun, and not those 2 chintzy little AA that doesn't shoot the bullet very far. The Dremel tool comes apart. The little head comes apart, shoots over my head as I'm watching him. We both have goggles on. It hits the sprinkler system, and 10,000 gallons of water flood my condo.
No.
So he will design something in his life. He will be an engineer or something, maybe Georgia Tech or wherever. But no, he's not going to be a weather guy.
Of course, nobody wants to cover him for insurance, right?
No, he can't get a car policy yet at all.
Major in fire suppression system.
Yeah.
If you live in a condo, in a high rise, and these sprinkler heads, they don't all go off at once. If you break one of those little plastic red tubes, water pours out. It doesn't sprinkle. There's nothing sprinkling about how much water.
No,
250 gallons a minute pour out of there. But they make you have a fire extinguisher in your house. But they don't make you have one of these little things that looks like a vice grip. You can put that vice grip in that sprinkler head, squeeze it 3 times, and that water will shut off. And the sprinkler head will stop sprinkling until the fire department gets there and shuts it all off. But that would have saved 9,750 gallons by the time I would have got that thing, if I knew it even existed then. So if you have sprinklers, buy one of those little guys for $50 and, you know, let everybody on your floor know that you have one. Because the people that live on 9 and 8 and 7, they don't like me very much anymore.
Oh my.
So Chad, let me ask you a little bit about on location storm reporting. What are some of the worst stories that you've had in your experience of having to be on location?
Oh, boy, I mean, the most horrific story was the El Reno tornado. I mean, no question. I don't know, did we talk about that in private, or did we go on the air with that already?
Talked a little bit about that, yeah, about where you were.
Yeah, and the loss of life that happened with that storm was just devastating. It hurt us all for a very long time. Yeah. And professional storm chasers that did everything right just got caught, and it happens. And so I think that's the true risk nowadays, where we're talking about chasing in Kansas, Oklahoma, or Texas, is chaser convergence. There are so many cars out there trying to chase the same storm. If one thing happens to one car or two cars and they crash, and all of a sudden they can't get out of where they need to be, the number of people out there is really becoming dangerous. That's what I'm concerned with about in the coming years with all this storm chasing that's going on. People go out there with a walkie-talkie and a 6-pack, and they think they're storm chasers. Well, that's not how we do it. You know, we have radar in the car, we have Doppler in the car, we have all kinds of things that we know where to go and where it's going. But you can still get in trouble even knowing all those things. So just don't go out there with your little Mountain Dew.
That's not true, because Jeff Foxworthy says that is the redneck, right? Storm chasing.
Yeah. Walkie-talkie and a
6-pack.
So that was obviously how much time did you have to get on location for that, to be in the planes and be on site?
Oh, we flew in Oklahoma City. That's the thing. CNN, they spare no expense when it comes to travel. And I don't mean they're putting us up in sweet hotels. I just mean when it's the day of, and we know that we need to be there by 4 o'clock because the ice storm's coming at 6. If that's $1,000 ticket, they pay it. Go. This is the story. You got to go. And so traveling to Oklahoma is pretty easy.
So you were out there basically the day of? I mean, that day you guys went out there?
I missed that tornado by 3 miles. It missed me by 3 miles because I went east and then south, and it was going southeast. So we were chasing it. It turned behind us. We had no service at all. Couldn't look at the radar at that point. Didn't know it was turning, and it moved behind us. And that was 317 Doppler on wheels miles per hour. Yeah,
If I remember, Chad, wasn't there a big outbreak the day before too? Were you there for that day?
There was. Yep, sure were. We chased it all day long. We actually flew into Wichita that day and drove all the way back into Texas, all the way through probably Wheeler, through Boise City, Oklahoma, and then back down through and Woodward, and chased tornadoes all the way back to Oklahoma City, and it fired up the next day as well.
How many did you see?
Well, not as many as you want, because you spend a lot of time in the car in a hail core where you don't see anything. You know, oops. you get on you'd never want to chase on a mud road. It's like, no, please don't go down that one because it's already rained on that mud road. We don't want to get stuck in that road. Yeah. So I think we total that whole time, I think we probably saw 3.
Wow.
That's a lot for a 2-day chase.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Well, I'll tell you what, we always want to know what our listeners think on the subject. You can email us at questions@stormfrontfreaks.com, or you can find us on Twitter or Facebook, and you can just tag us your thoughts. We can share that on the next show. All right, the next segment, this is a first for the show. It was actually recommended by a couple listeners and a couple of our previous guests, Min and Castle. And so we thought we would make it a part of our show. We're going to start mean tweets, and we thought the best person to do it with might be good old Chad Myers, and partly because he's a funny guy. He doesn't seem to take himself too seriously, and I think that's a perfect match, right? So what we're going to do, so I sent Chad some mean tweets, and Chad, I'm just going to let you roll those off the end of your tongue.
All right, well, I'm 55, so I have to put my glasses on to read them. But that's
and so these were all just to set them up,
okay,
directed to you on Twitter after some other Twitter message that either you had or CNN had put out on your behalf.
Okay. I don't know where they came from. This one came over just December of this last year, 2017. Your report on the worst weather events of 2017 was without one mention of climate change and was truly pathetic. Congrats on keeping the truth under wraps. Okay. Well, that was the top 10 weather stories of 2017. I don't know how climate change gets in there because it was about storms. It was about Maria and Irma. Okay. I get that one. That's fine. This is a good one. Companies like Google can set up huge fan towers and deflect winds and rain so that the storm is less intense. But I see no one trying it. Why? Well,
Oh my God.
the Earth is a very big place. Drive around Oklahoma for a little while. You'll see how big it is. And then go to Texas and realize it's a lot bigger than that. So to put up a fan or something like that doesn't really work. Now, one of the craziest things I did see where humans actually have intervened in a scarcity of water is if you go into California, as that coastal road there, they put up these tarps and sheets. And it catches the sea breeze that comes in that's very, very moist. The sea breeze hits the sheets or tarps, and the tarps drip water onto their garden. I thought that was phenomenal. I thought that was an absolutely amazing thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, trying to harness nature.
I'm going to set up my box fan outside and keep the
Yeah.
Don't turn it on too high. You'll push us west.
Yeah, I'm going to send snow to Florida next year. Okay. Not like you would understand what this means. I hope this isn't your day job. Scare tactics won't work on us. Ooh, that's a good
Oh
one.
my God.
Oh, and that was the day before Irma hit. So I guess I was scaring them that Irma was going to be a bad storm.
Wait, I didn't sign that one, did I?
It would be great if weather reporters and their cameramen weren't standing in the streets trying to implore people not to stand in the streets.
Oh, there
There
you
you
go.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. And then this was also for Irma too. Are you going to cover the lake that's in the middle of Florida? Cover it like with a sheet? The storm surge was showing some impact there. Or cover the story. No, not usually. Although there always is a Lake Okeechobee effect of some kind. I mean, really the water does slosh around in that little lake. So,
Yeah.
it sure can.
So there was some surge in that lake.
On the one side, it's like taking a coffee cup and trying to cool it down. You blow the wind on the coffee cup, and the coffee goes away from you. Well, the waves can actually move the water away from the one side, and you can. At times, there have been reports where the one side of Okeechobee is completely dry because of the Seiche has pushed all the water to the other side.
Wow.
Pretty amazing. Well, those weren't too bad. If those are my meanest tweets.
No, that wasn't bad at all.
Oh,
There's no death threat in there at all.
you got to try
Got your
harder.
looks. The women get the looks ones.
Yeah. Well, I just have a little bit of hair left, and so that's when it's all gone. That's be my last day on TV.
Did you read the last?
There's a vulgarity in there. I don't know if I want to read that or not.
Yeah, come on, Phil.
Have to
This
be
is
out.
PG show.
Calm the down and just report the facts. Over
Wow.
speculation and storm tracks are just wrong. They do nothing for us. And that was also when Irma was hitting the Florida Keys.
Wow.
I think.
You can't please everybody, so you just got to
No,
please
you
yourself.
can't.
Right.
It's
So,
kinda
hey-
like a song.
Thanks for being a great sport. That was good.
That was good stuff.
That was funny.
Try that with. We're going to take our final break. You can refill your drink. And when we come back, it's time to share our WX resources and weather fools. Chad, thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Chad.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chad.
I'm
You're a stud, buddy. You are a stud.
Hey, come out to visit, man.
I will.
Where are you,
Where are
man?
you now?
I'm in Marietta,
Oh, okay.
Georgia. Where are you?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh, okay. No, I wish I would have known that. My ex-wife lives in Cincinnati.
I know
Really?
her, don't I? The reporter?
No.
Wait, how many do you have?
The other one.
Ask Larry King that question. 'Cause
Wow.
I'm on 3.
Wow.
I just getting a newer model every year.
You know what they say? First one you marry for love, second one for sex, third one for money. So just
The second one for what?
For sex.
I've never heard that, Maz.
I haven't heard that either.
I think you made that up, right?
I'm my wife's second.
Yeah.
She's my first.
That's why you said that.
Actually, that was Tom Bavacqua in Omaha who said that. Do you remember Tom?
I do remember Big Tom.
Man.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Chad.
Thanks,
It's
Chad.
the
Thanks.
hour.
All right, you're great.
I'm
See ya.
drinking Kettle 1. All right, good night.
Oh,
Good night.
good night.
All right, so let's hit. Here's. Oh,
Ooh.
I think he fell down.
I think he fell through the windows.
I might have to eject him.
All right, so we'll come back. Maz, WX Resources.
Yeah, who's got him?
Yeah, you.
I do.
I don't know. I'm looking for food right now in New York City, and I can't find anything.
Really ask who's got them? Does it matter?
What? Oh, I see. Okay.
Just
Okay.
start naming people. Someone will. Someone won't. Kind of how it goes.
It's all gone.
I do have one. I do have one.
Okay.
Ah.
His name is Phil with an F.
I don't.
Okay.
Phil,
So
you're
can
in
you-
a different room
No.
today. Where are you?
I'm in my office.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's in his office. So look
Oh,
at
his
me.
office. Oh, how,
Oh, nice.
I am so fancy.
That was good.
Brady, did you say you had one?
No, I said I was looking for food in New York City right now, and I can't find anything.
I'm the only one with a weather resource. All right.
I have one.
No,
Oh.
Kim has one. Yeah. We'll go ladies first, then Phil.
That's fine. We are episode 53, show notes. And then for Weather Fools, I've made an executive decision, and at least for Weather Fools, we'll go ahead and share screen. Just again, make sure you explain it. Don't take forever. So if it's a long video, don't, try and get to the point or get to the funny part or whatever. But I think there was some good, funny, laughing banter that was going on there that I guess I decided I wanted back.
Yay!
Oh, sweet.
We won't do it for WX Resources, but we'll share screen for Weather Fools. All right.
Okay.
So who's got one?
I have a weather full.
I've got one.
I had one, but I can't find it now.
Okay. And don't forget, guys, if you do have a WX resource or Weather Fool, can you please email me the link so I'm not trying to search it later when I'm putting show notes together. Saves time.
Time and money, baby.
Time and money.
Time and money.
That's a Meat Puppet song.
Oh,
I don't know
goodness.
who that is.
The Meat Puppet.
Really?
Meat Puppets, yeah. Hey, they were just inducted into the Arizona Music Hall of Fame.
That's actually
Now
a band.
that's getting somewhere.
It's something.
What songs did they sing?
None that you would know, but they actually were on Unplugged with MTV Unplugged with Kurt Cobain and
Oh, okay.
what was their group?
Nirvana?
Nirvana.
Oh, good
They
job.
played because they opened for a bunch of Nirvana concerts.
Oh,
And so
wow.
Nirvana had, when they were on MTV Unplugged, Kurt Cobain asked them to come on and play acoustic behind him
Oh,
because he covered a couple Meat Puppet songs.
I'll have to look that up. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
All right. So are we good? And then MJ, my guess is you probably got a few comments.
I got a stack of them, but I'll
What
try to
happens when you don't show up?
Hey, you know what?
Takes us back to episode 15.
Hey, remember those days?
I do.
All right, and then I'll close this up. So let's I'll do my applause for Maz. We'll actually get a real applause going here. Let me count
All
them.
right. Point to me when I should talk.
Okay, so Phil, just to confirm, we are not sharing weather resources.
Correct. We won't share screen for that. I don't think we need to because it's not something that's real funny or anything. Just
Yeah.
explain that, but we can do that for Weather Fool.
Okay.
Am I delayed?
No.
No.
Okay. All right. Some of you guys are delayed.
Well, that's, all depends. Depends on who you're asking.
Call them in. Count them in.
All right. In 3, 2, 1.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. What? Okay. Hey, we are all set for WX resources. I hope you are. So you want to grab your pen and paper because you're going to want to jot these down. The weather resources, great places you can find out new technology, new computer models, new anything having to deal with weather as long as it's legal, moral, and ethical. So to kick us off, we're going to start things with Kim. What do you have for our WX resources?
Okay, well, I'm actually going to spotlight Tom Moore on Twitter. Tom is going to join us, I believe, in August, Phil. He was Weather Channel.
Yeah, I'll say that.
I'm sorry?
He hasn't signed the contract quite yet.
Oh, he hasn't? Okay. Well, look forward later on, maybe in the summer, for Tom Moore to be joining us. Tom was a meteorologist at the Weather Channel forever. I mean, he was there from, I think from the beginning of the Weather Channel. And he was an on-camera meteorologist. And if you go to his Twitter website, you will see that he's currently with Weather Concierge. And that's pretty much just a single source platform forecasting for consumers and for businesses. But he's a meteorologist there. But the good thing about Tom, there's a lot of good things about Tom, but what you should know about Tom is that he's pretty much an expert on lake effect snow. So if you are anywhere around the Great Lakes, or even I would say just on snowstorms in general, but really lake effect snow. He's from upstate New York, so he knows a lot about them. But during the winter, if you're anywhere near there, you want to learn about lake effect snow, follow Tom Moore on Twitter. He's at Tom Moore WX is where you find him. And he just always has some great stuff, some great weather stuff and radars and talking about some of the active weather around the country. So love Tom. He's an expert. He's a meteorologist extraordinaire.
He did just come out too with a book. I know he was part of a group that did a book, right, about the early days at the Weather Channel.
Yes, because since he was there from the beginning, he has a lot to say about how it used to be at the Weather Channel. And I think a lot of people who are Weather Channel junkies would love to read this book. And he's going to talk about that book when we have him on later on in the summer. But he's definitely has a wealth of knowledge about the early days at the channel, and a lot of funny things went on back then. So anyway, Tom Moore, a great person to follow if you're on Twitter.
He's a good guy, and he's outgoing, animated, just passionate about weather. So that's cool.
He is. He is. He's a real true weather geek for sure.
All right. Thank you, Kim. Phil, what do you have for us?
Well, so I am currently in the process of working with Miami University in Oxford, Ohio, to become a storm-ready institution. So the National Weather Service has a program. It's called Storm Ready. They also have a partnership, Storm Ready partnership, or something like that as well. But they have a Storm Ready program. If you go to weather.gov/Storm Ready, you can learn about the program. And this really, I encourage anybody that might work at a large company, headquarters, office building kind of a thing. If you work for a municipality like a city, county, state, if you work for an institution or a school, whether it's an elementary school, high school, anything like that, you can basically work with the National Weather Service to become a storm-ready facility or a storm-ready institution, where you meet some of their requirements that show that you're prepared for severe weather, you're prepared to communicate severe weather, you're prepared to get people ready for severe weather. You can become a storm ready program, and they'll give you, just kind of helps you can put up some signage, all that kind of stuff that just show you've done what you need to do to get your organization ready for that. So again, that's weather.gov/storm ready.
Do they do something with, or am I thinking of somebody else because we just had an elementary school rebuilt just because it had reached its life expectancy, and having it built better and ready for certain levels, F4, EF5s. Anybody, am I thinking of them, or am I thinking of somebody else that might do something?
It's not that. It's not based on how sturdy your building is or anything like that. It's really based on communication.
Okay.
How well you're in a position to, prepare people for severe and winter weather and such, and also communicate when there is severe weather in the area. Are you set up to be able to communicate that to your public to prevent injury and death and destruction to buildings?
Such a great idea, because so many elementary schools today they are doing units on weather every single time. So that'd be awesome. Thanks, Phil.
Yeah, it'd be a
Good
good
stuff.
thing if you're a teacher, for example, might be a good project to get your school.
Good call. And if you'd like more information on either of those WX resources, check us out at stormfrontfreaks.com, episode 53 show notes. Brady. You're muted, Brady.
Muted.
Brady muted. Unmute.
My bad. Sorry. Having a sip of wine. I was actually finishing checking work email. All right, guys, it's time for Weather Fools. Now, what is Weather Fools for the first-time listeners? Weather Fools is the part of the show where we, as freaks, go out on the internet. We look at Twitter. We look at YouTube. We look at Facebook. We're just looking for something silly or downright stupid when it comes to the weather.
Like leaving your air conditioner on in the background?
Like leaving your air conditioner on. It's actually off right now, and it's getting very warm. So I would say I am my first Weather Fool. And I'm going to be honest. I think, Phil, you're the only person as well as me who has a Weather Fool this week, right?
That is correct. So I do have a Weather Fool to share with you guys. Is a video. This is from Twitter that was just submitted by, I've got a name of the person, Bjorn. Bjorn. So this was in Germany. So Bjorn, I don't know if he was storm chasing or he happened to end up in this thing, but he's right in front. So he's in his vehicle and he's filming right from his vehicle. I'm sure this is a camera phone, but the tornado's right there. I'm telling you, it's maybe 50 yards away, and he's got an orange pickup truck in front of him. This tornado is getting closer. You can see small.
Oh my gosh!
Within it. And then also it starts to overtake the truck. I mean, it literally comes into the truck. You can see some little vortices every once in a while overtake the truck. Fortunately, he didn't get caught in the portion of it that might potentially flip his vehicle. I will warn you, there is some severe language.
But it's in German. It's in German. It's in German. So it's all good.
Some of these bad words are not in German.
It's all good.
Actually, it's not in German. It is, and he is speaking English swear word. So I will warn you on that, but I'll share the link on that. But it was on Twitter.
Yeah, Phil, I saw that and I'm like, dude, back up. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, back up. It's like there's not like a traffic jam behind you. I guess I don't know, but that it was shocking to me.
Was there anybody behind him?
I don't know.
We don't
know. We don't know.
And that was a pretty decent tornado for Germany too. So that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
That's right, Fraulein.
Yeah. Fraulein indeed. So all right, so my Weather Fool this week, it's not nearly as exciting. So I gotta share the screen. Whoops, sorry. It's been a while since I've done this. All right, cool.
Excuse.
We have to have a training seminar again. I think.
Apparently, you know what, Phil? You said we weren't going to do anymore, so that piece of information left my mind.
Take the blame on it. That's fine.
And now it's coming back. Okay, actually, that's the other one I have. So my Weather Fool is this is from WGN9, Chicago's news station, and this is actually Ian Happ for the Chicago Cubs. They let him come on and do a weather forecast for them. Actually, this was broadcast by IGN9, but this was by the Weather Channel. So here's him literally doing a weather forecast on the Weather Channel. I believe this was live, and he's just making a complete fool out of himself.
Oh my gosh!
And this is actually on a day where he's playing. He's playing a game that day, and they just let him come on and do the weather forecast. So
wow.
The audio is a lot funnier than it sounds, and we'll have that on. We'll have that as well as our other Weather Fool on our show. What is this? 53.
It's 53. You said the audio is a lot funnier than how it sounds.
I'm like, it better be. I hope so.
Yes. So we'll have all this and more on stormfrontfreaks.com, show 53, on our show notes page. Cool.
There you go. All right, Kim, who makes those decisions to let people like that?
The producers probably.
Free tickets.
Together and think, what can we do? You know.
All right. Well, hey, we got MJ back. It's been a month, I think, but he's
good
back.
Morning.
Oh yeah. What do we have for
Welcome back.
Got to catch up on some listener questions and responses, I think.
Well, hey, we want to thank our listeners and viewers for lighting up social media for us the last month or so, or actually a couple of weeks, really.
In a good way?
In a good way. Yeah, absolutely. So our friend Jay Farlow said he's planning to catch up on weather podcasts on the drive to and from Dayton. And the reason for that is he's going to the Dayton Hamvention, which is a huge amateur radio convention in Dayton. So thanks for checking in with us.
Oh.
Jennifer Stark, who, of course, we just had on episode 52, our last episode, tweeted out and said that one podcast inspired us to make a group on Facebook that is now at over 200 chasers, all women supporting and encouraging each other.
Ah,
So that's very
awesome.
cool.
It's like having children, man.
It is.
Oh, it's so special.
Oh my God.
And Lori Grace Bailey checked in listening to episode 52. Ton of fun. Listening to other weather sisters. So that was a good episode for us, and a lot of comments on that one. Brolin McKay, no, I haven't listened to 10 episodes in a day. Just found the Stormfront Freaks podcast, but I'm guessing he did listen to 10 episodes in one day.
He's at 9 and then he stopped.
Maybe. Mary Sloan, I'm just finishing Stormfront Freaks episode, and I just have to say, you might be the best liar I've ever heard. That drug bust story was spot on.
Oh, that's right.
To tell the truth from the last episode.
They were so good.
They were good. A little too good, really.
That was a fun game.
Vanessa Newfield says a must listen. Thank you, Vanessa. Storm Chaser Todd says, yes, give it a listen. These are my people. So thank you. My people.
I believe that is peeps, isn't it?
Yep,
Correct
he didn't say
usage there.
And my people. So he's probably older like us. I don't know.
That's why we're his people.
That's right. Kim Hines loved watching. The ladies were informative and fun. And then we go back a couple of weeks from when I wasn't here. I apologize for that, everybody, but life goes on. Jamie Ingram says, hello, I'm a storm chaser from Wisconsin. I'm an RN and have put together a mission called Hope Echo for storm victims. Also made a suggestion for an opening song, the tornado version of Tallulah by Tori Amos. And I haven't listened to it. Maybe that would be good, but I'm not sure our budget will handle the royalties.
That's right.
In podcasting, everybody does that anyway and doesn't pay for a license. And apparently,
I suppose
they don't go after them. But I think we'll maybe avoid that.
What's that called? Isn't it ASMAP or what are they called?
Hazmat?
Not hazmat.
No, the ASCAP.
ASCAP. That's it. ASCAP. Yeah.
Hazard.
ASCAP? What?
Yeah, to get the licensing. They're the licensing folks.
Yeah. No, not like 1S. Okay. Yeah.
So Shannon Bileski says she downloaded her first ever podcast app just for the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Oh, that was nice.
Very nice.
Will she download another?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Just did my first. I'm done.
We didn't get that tweet, so I don't know. Tornado Trackers checked in on Facebook, thanked us for featuring their posters on episode 51.
Cool.
Andrew Revkin checked in on Facebook, belatedly discovering Stormfront Freaks podcast, and has a new book out with Lisa McCauley. I think check out our Stormfront Freaks Facebook page if you want more information on that. And Eric Flaggi suggested Mean Tweets segment. And so, Aaron, we brought it on for you.
Good job.
Good.
So thank you, everybody, for checking in with us.
fun.
Again, keep it coming.
Yeah, Chad didn't want to say fuck, so that's why he didn't.
Well, it means
You are really going to make me do editing this time, aren't you?
Wow.
My goodness.
My mom is listening.
I quit.
Different in German. So
That was the tweet. I thought the tweet was calm the fuck down and report facts. I thought that was pretty funny.
Just
I
lost
would
my
be mad-
pastor.
I would be mad, but my grandma is no longer listening. I'm sad to say.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
All right,
that.
well, hey,
Oh, that's so sad.
do it for this episode of Stormfront Freaks podcast. Thanks for listening and watching. Before I share the secret of our next guest, if you enjoy the show, please do us a favor and leave a great review on your podcast app. Don't forget to subscribe to the show by hitting your podcast app subscribe button. It works just like a magazine or a newspaper subscription. It just assures the latest show will get delivered right to your podcast inbox the moment that it gets released. Special thanks definitely to our guest tonight, Mr. Chad Myers.
Thank you, Chad.
At our next episode in 2 weeks, we'll be recording on May 31st with Fox senior meteorologist Janice Dean. Will be with us. So we're going to go right from Chad Myers to Janice Dean to National Morning Meteorologist. If you'd like to watch the recording live, it's going to be again at a special time. 6 p.m. Eastern. So we're going up another hour earlier.
Wait, when?
Hey.
So this is Thursday, May 31st.
Some of us have day jobs.
6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. You're done by then.
Ooh,
Check
I'm gonna
out
be
your
cutting it
YouTube
close.
channel by searching Stormfront Freaks if you want to watch that live. So for MJ, Maz, Brady, and Kim, and I might be the only one on the next episode, I'm going to go here, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Adios.
Peace.
See ya.
All right. Bye, guys. I got to check out.
All right. Thanks.
I'll see you. See you in 2 weeks.
Catch
All
you.
right.
Okay.
And
Okay.
appreciate you.
You guys got to help me where I'm going to dinner. That's the real question.
Should ask Chad.
There's a steakhouse in my lobby, and I'm debating on whether I should go there or not.
That
I haven't
sounds-
used
yeah.
any of my per diem yet, so I might.
You've been drinking wine.
Something else. I'm never a fan of hotel restaurants.
Really? But it's a steakhouse, though. That's different.
Okay, I got an exception to that, and that is the Johnson and Wales Inn in Rhode Island.
What?
It's a culinary institute hooked onto the hotel, and it's where all the students learn. I gained 10 pounds my first move there.
You can also get food poisoning because they make a mistake.
No. It's not like, Bob comes in with.
What happens if you have a kid that's going to get an F in the class? Then he's going to get an F on your food, and then you're done.
There's no F's at Johnson and Wales.
That's awesome. All right.
All right. Stopping the break.